Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Prospero.ai stock market live streams. Good to be back live with you all today. As we're just beginning here, everybody hit that like button if you're excited for the topics. If you're watching live, welcome. If you're watching in the future, welcome to the run back. We're about to discuss a bunch of amazing topics. I think we got a good list of topics here today, so I'm excited. And I'll run through them now, and then we'll jump into them when George gets in here in just a minute. I see Johnny's in the chat. What's up, Johnny? Good afternoon, all. JC is here as well. Hello, all. Hello, JC. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday, everybody. The market, before we actually get into the topics, let's give a market overview. The markets are mixed today with the QQQ in the green, about 1/3%. The SPY, Dow, and Russell all down varying degrees. Dow down the most. SPY and Russell just barely down on the day. Nick is in the chat as well saying, hey, everyone. R is here on Twitter. We got a comment from there. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Let's check the Prospero, QQQ, and SPY net option sentiment as we begin here, and then we'll get into our list of topics. Ooh, QQQ up to 38 in the Prospero app for net option sentiment. So getting ever so close to that bull bear line of 40, and now rising nicely in the year of 2026 from a low of 6 in net option sentiment. Looking good. SPY not playing along, still stuck at 0. I don't know if we've seen a SPY reading over 0 in 2026. What the heck, SPY? Come on. Get off that 0 flat line. Dividend Degenerates is back. Afternoon all. Good to see you. Hello, welcome to the stream. All right, let me run through these topics for you guys. We are going to start off. By the way, I saw Nick just shared in the Prospero Discord, which is linked in the description of YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitter, you can head on over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button while you're there, but then also jump into the Prospero Discord. There's a new channel there, I believe, if I'm correct, Nick, for live stream topic suggestions. So throughout the week, if you're on social medias or watching the news or checking out a stock or whatever, if something comes to your attention, you can leave me a comment there, and I'll be sure to bring up some of the topics on the streams that I see from there. So everybody could go check out the Discord and also join there. All right, so let's get into our topic. So we have Mobileye acquiring Menti Robotics, which was sending Mobileye shares higher this morning. But I took a peek just before the stream, and it looked like they had given back most of those gains throughout the day. So let's see where they're at now. They are up just 0.5% after being up as much as 17% in the pre-market. So we'll go through that story, what it means for Mobileye. We've been covering the robotics space a lot more recently. So this is kind of another story in that sense. And Mobileye gets no love for its full self-driving and now their robotics selling off today. But we've also been covering the Tesla valuation recently too. So I think it's an interesting discussion to be had here. We'll also discuss the board of GameStop approving a major pay package for Ryan Cohen, the CEO. And there are some big numbers being thrown around, folks. So we'll get into whether these numbers are achievable, believable, and what George thinks of if it's marketing versus actually what GameStop and the board thinks can occur. Then we will get into Joby, which made a purchase in Ohio of a new factory that will allow them to double their manufacturing footprint. And they gave the total number of aircrafts they are expected to be able to be producing per month by 2027, so next year. And we will discuss whether this number is impressive and just how interesting it is. Joby gets a lot of attention in the signals and on social media. And let's see what Joby is doing today since they announced this. Joby is down 2% right now after announcing this, but they were rising year to date, up 19%, and have made a big move in the past year. So we'll go in through all the Joby information. I see the doctor is in the house. Mr. Matt, hello. Matt, welcome to the stream. We have Matt reposting us. Thank you. Spreading the Prospero live stream. Love that. All right. What's the next story? Okay, I want to bring up India on the stream today because numbers came out about the expected growth for the India economy in 2027, and they are expected to grow quite a bit. But I'm wondering, it doesn't seem like so much focus goes into India in these terms of the stock market world. I don't see tons of coverage for them. And I'm wondering, with this much growth, why isn't there more love shown to India's stocks, business world, and all of it? Then we will get into MSTR, which after the market yesterday got some big news about how they won't be excluded from the MSCI index. So this sent shares briefly higher. But today, throughout the stream, they dropped back down. Just it's kind of a reoccurring theme. So I want to check out MSTR here. Things have been dropping. Let's check in on MSTR. So MSTR, after hitting a high of up about 7% today, now up only 2.5%. So we will cover them and what this means for their company. And maybe if the story had gone the other way and they were excluded from the index, what would that have meant for this company? Two more stories to go through. This one's an interesting one. I don't know if you're a chess player watching the stream today. Say so in the chat right now. Let's see how many chess people do we have. We have stock market and chess here. So we got a story with a certain grandmaster. So we'll see if anybody's gonna know. If you have an elo, feel free to share it in the chat. But let's see. We'll see if we get any comments here. By the way, guys, last stream we got a lot of likes on YouTube. I appreciate it. Let's try to repeat that. I'm going to help you guys out right now while we have some people typing maybe, and I will give us a like also on the day from my account. Here we go. We got to hit double-digit likes before George gets in here. We're at 9, so only one more to go. No comments for chess in the chat. Okay. So I'm wondering if you guys will know the name. The name is Hikaru Nakamura. He is a grandmaster, second best chess player in the world. Johnny said he's not a chess fan, he's a checkers fan. So Hikaru Nakamura, well respected for his intelligence, being a grandmaster. He made 2 investments recently, and I'm wondering, maybe Hikaru is secretly using the Prospero signals because he bought AST Space Mobile, you know, the one we've been mentioning on the streams all the time, one of George's 2 picks of the year. The other one was SNDK, which is ranked highly in our signals. And yeah, I'm wondering, is Prospero on Hikaru's radar? I don't know. Maybe he uses us to invest. Nick said that's almost the only name that I know from the chess world. Probably Hikaru and Magnus Carlsen, right? The 2 most popular players. So I guess I'm the only nerd here. I'm super into chess. I thought more people would know Hikaru, but maybe I'm the only one. Maybe if you're watching the stream in the future, because we've been getting a lot of views on the run back, comment if you are into the chess scene. What's your elo? Nick said, yep, those 2. Yeah, the 2 best, the 2 at the top. One more topic to go through here today. We are going to discuss 5 stocks at 5-year lows. So should I share them with you right now, or should I make you guys wait till the end? That is the question. I think I'll give you 3 of the 5, all right? I won't make you hang all the way to the end to get all of them, but I won't reveal just all of them yet. Now, which is the 3 I should reveal? All right. We'll go with JM Smucker first. This is a stock at a 5-year low. What's the next one? I'll go Charter Communications and Kimberly-Clark. So those are 3 of the 5 stocks at 5-year lows. I have 2 more to talk about later on. I'm going to ask George, are any of them interested? Is he interested in investing in any of these companies? And yeah, we'll see if he's ready to, what did I term this at the end of last year? Go garbage diving or dumpster diving for some of these stocks. I mean, they have had some pretty rough charts amongst some of these 5 companies. So we will see if any of them, now that they've dropped a lot, are buy the dippable and have some value here. Hey, George is into the stream. Hello, George. Happy Wednesday. Good to see you today. So guys, I go over with George before the streams as well. George, I thought we were going to have some chess players in here. I'm very surprised. Nobody plays chess. I thought there'd be a bigger crossover between stock market and chess, but I don't know. I think our story later on is still interesting, and we got a bunch of great ones here to get into today. JC said Smuckers came up on a stream a few weeks ago, and George almost gagged on it. Yeah, so I checked out all of these 5 stock signals in Prospero. And yeah, JC, you're right. Jam Smucker does have some pretty bad signals. It was actually the worst of the list. So I can almost guarantee that's not going to be the one that George has any interest in, if he does have any interest in any of them today. But George, we should start with the macro overall view. So the markets are mixed today overall. We're seeing the QQQ in the green and the rest in the red right now, although SPY and Russell are like very, very slightly red here. We're seeing some stocks make some big moves overall today. QQQ net option sentiment up to 38 at the beginning of the stream, so very close to crossing that bull bear line of 40 we set in the for the Prospero NOS for the markets. SPY still stuck at 0, so a similar thing we've seen for, I see you're laughing at our comment we got. George, where'd you get that shirt? All right, we'll go right into the shirt. People want to know.
Poshmark. It's Bugatti. I think it was only like $30. I'm a good bargain hunter.
Yeah, George has some of the best shirts around. So if you're new to our streams, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Just, if nothing else, just to see the collection of shirts shown on the stream. Maverick saying, wow. Nick saying SPY made a new all-time high today. Yeah, so the SPY, so this is a good point we can jump into. So even though we're seeing some hedging and some concerns for the NOS for the SPY, it has been able to perform. So I think this is a topic that people would be curious in hearing your thoughts if they haven't before, of like how the SPY is able to increase, although we're seeing pretty bearish signals in the NOS for it.
I mean, we've seen this before, like especially with all of just like engaging in a new military conflict. Like there's a lot of reasons that we would see hedging, but they still want to play more upside in technology. Like we've seen that a lot this year, where QQQ is higher and like even in the 40s, and SPY is still at 0. So you really have to look at both numbers. That's why we always tell people to look at both numbers. But I mean, but tech's certainly doing better than than SPY as well. So it all kind of fits to me.
Yeah, it makes some sense there. So I want to jump into today a stock that, it's not a one-for-one comparison to Tesla, but it has some similar aspects of its business. And I feel like a recent discussion, because Tesla stock has done well as of late and hit new all-time highs recently and is trading up towards the top of its range. And people have been asking repeatedly, like, does the valuation match the state of the company? So we have Mobileye, which has their full self-driving technology. They acquired a company called Menti Robotics today. It's an AI-first humanoid robotics company. They acquired them for $900 million, and the stock reacted very positively. It was up 17% this morning, but it has sold off quite a bit throughout the day, and now it's up only 0.5% here. So it's been interesting hearing your thoughts on company acquisitions in the past. And with this one looking to be received well initially, what can we read with it selling off, like basically it's all of its gains entirely throughout the day here? Do you think it's actually like, why were people so excited and why did it change so quickly?
I mean, sometimes like what you're getting is like momentum, right? And you see people reacting. And then sometimes like what ends up happening is something moving up really fast and quickly can be the biggest enemy of its stability, because then it gets to a point where people are like, maybe they weren't even planning to sell, but they're like, I got to take profits because it's going to turn around. And then you start to get the selling momentum and it can swing, back, back the other way. And like, that was like, we talk about short squeezes sometimes, and that was always my argument. One of the arguments against, like, some companies want to attract that kind of thing, but some companies really don't, because a lot of the times your stock can end up lower than it would otherwise after it goes up and then back down. So yeah, I think that's not uncommon behavior. It's not uncommon behavior with an acquisition, especially because, one of the things that we always kind of talk about is these things are complicated. It's not just like, oh, is it good to acquire a company? It's, was a good price paid for this? How soon until it can be accretive to the overall value of the business? And And that's complicated, and some people can get it wrong. And like, sometimes what happens is you get kind of these momentum traders that have no intention of holding it, and then a bunch of people can buy because they're not doing the valuation. Retail, less sophisticated investors could be like, oh, this must mean that it's good for it, and it's really just momentum news bots that are trading it, and then it goes well, and really no one was buying it because they thought it was a good deal. That can happen all the time.
So Matt's in the chat saying future billionaire vibes. But no, Matt, I'm just simple old Steven. Don't. No, I'm kidding. What did I want to ask you?
From what?
Yeah.
What was
that? I think probably for your shirt. For this company, Mobileye is down 54% from IPOing just a few years ago. Do you take this as them acquiring a company as any sign of desperation? Could that be kind of read into them making a purchase like this, an acquisition like this? They're only a 9 to 10 billion market cap company, so 10% of their company acquisition, pretty large. Any thoughts in terms of that?
Yeah, I mean, they were a lot higher. Yeah, I mean, that's always something to think about. Like, yeah, you look at their chart, and that's like a pretty disappointing chart. They were at 48.11 at one point, and they have a low of 10.04. So they're pretty like, you look at a chart like that, and like, I think you answer your own question a little bit. Like, are they looking like, clearly that tells you that their core business, they can't get people excited about it. So those things are tough because like, it's kind of an admission that your business isn't doing too well. But if you can no longer generate the excitement, the revenue potential, however you want to phrase it, if you can't generate that anymore, then yeah.
We have a comment from this guy in the chat. Any thoughts on HUT upside and NOS look good? I noticed HUT had very strong signals in Prospero, so curious to hear your thoughts on that company.
I think I got to switch out of HUT Bitfarms into HUT.
HUT hike? You
yeah,
do it?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that right now.
All right. Well, thank you for the question then.
Wait, I'm just checking on their market cap. And Bitfarms is Canadian. I didn't even know that.
Oh, that changes it for you?
No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, I'm pretty sure HUT has some kind of connection to one of the Trump sons, so that should be a bullish factor as well.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're making the switch.
So there you go. Ask and you shall receive the answer. It looks like HUT is looking good. So you're swapping it out 1-for-1 for Bitfarms right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there you go, guys. You're getting a live move here.
I was going to be greedy. No, I'm not going to. Take my Bitfarms profits. I had a nice little profit, right? It's a good switch. They're similar market caps. Was wasting my time in that Bitfarm thing.
Another question in our chat. I feel like everyone knows Carvana is a scam company. How to play shorting it while understanding it could pump way higher? Do you agree? Is it a scam company?
Yeah, I mean, it's like very overvalued, I'd say, yeah.
You don't think car vending machines is the future?
Can't say I do. Hold on, I'm doing one more thing.
Yeah, I'm interested to the other part of this question of like how to short it while understanding it has like this momentum to it. Like how would you go about that? Even if it's not Carvana, just in general.
Yeah, there's one more, and then I'm going to look at the Carvana signals. And okay, now I'm going to look at the Carvana signal. Sorry, I just needed to do one more thing with that. That's looking very good. Thanks for bringing that to me. Yeah, I mean, it's looking okay, but net option sentiment is on the upswing right now, so I wouldn't particularly recommend the timing, but you're right. Like, I don't like shorting anything that's like a meme stock type thing, right? Because you just never know. Like the problem is when those stocks kind of look the most attractive, when they have the most downward momentum, the kinds of things that I look for. Like I like downward momentum. I don't like it to be near the all-time low. I didn't really look at a chart for that, but let's check that part out. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not near the all-time low, but you can kind of see that it can, even from this chart right now, it can snap back pretty quickly. So how do I approach shorting things like this? I don't really. Like I don't want to short anything. I don't want to short anything that has retail attention really at all.
You're probably gonna you should stick around, Hussein, for the 5 stocks at 5-year lows discussion. There's some stocks that are looking pretty bearish. I think George will have other thoughts on those ones. A lot of chats today. This is great. We're getting comment on Zeta and ONDS.
Well, we skipped the Bitcoin treasuries one, but I don't really have any thoughts on Bitcoin treasuries. ONDS and Zeta. I mean, we're like, I looked at Zeta today. Like it's like, and it's in our high conviction portfolio. We like it, obviously. I looked at it today, and yeah, net option sentiment is a really nice upswing. Another one I know from this stream, but yeah, we got in. We had a nice gain, and we're holding. ONDS, a bit tougher because that's been on a really nice run. Yeah, I would not. I don't like it. It looks like it might have hit a top. I think it's a risky time for ONDS.
Any thoughts on SEC Limited?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we added that recently. SE definitely looks good. It looks good in our signals. Like, I know it's in the trading portfolio. I'd think about it that might be another, might want to make another switch like that. Switch BKNG for SE, get our consumer cyclical that way. Let's see if BKNG is a win right now. Come on, be a win. Because I like that switch too.
By the way, Hussein responded to you in the chat. Will do buying Bugatti shirts, multitasking right
now. Long positions. Okay, yeah, we got it as a win. We're swapping that one out too.
All right, so what is it? We're swapping out SE for booking?
We're swapping out booking for SE.
Yes, okay. So everybody, SE, thank you, JC, for bringing it to our attention. 2 instant ads here today based on the Prospero signals.
Yeah, I like those. Trying to manage like a little more actively than I was at the end of last year. It was not being very.
We have a question for you to look at Meta whenever you're finished. I also can read this comment from NW asking about how to get tickers added to Prospero. So you can click on the link in the description for the Discord, and there's a channel in our Discord for ticker ads that we add into the app, and that's the best way to do it. So he said EXE is what he wants.
Meta or like EXE is the ad. Yeah, like you got to put it in my channel. I'm not in the right place to do it. I mean, Meta looks good. Meta has looked good. I mean, it jumped up to 98 net option sentiment. The downside is heading up. I don't love that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's been a bit tepid, but I think it could run again leading into earnings. I expect it to have a good earnings.
So you said you weren't so interested in Bitcoin treasury companies. MSTR is the king of them all, probably. We have a topic about them later on, but I want to talk about GameStop before we get to them, a newer Bitcoin treasury company. It came out that the board has approved a pay package for the CEO, Ryan Cohen. It's a massive pay package of $10 billion in total if he is able to get GameStop to hit a $100 billion market cap. So I saw this and I was like, wow, that is like never going to happen. But I'll let you give your opinion. Do you think this is more marketing, or is this a legitimate thing that they think they can achieve?
Does it have to like stay there? He might be going for another short squeeze.
Yeah. No, just one tick.
I mean, come on. They have 800. They have their last quarter was $821 million. And you want to be $100 billion company at $821 million in revenue? No, that's dumb. I mean, it's just crazy what these people are like. It's probably another headline, and it's probably like that's probably for the people that are like obsessed with it to be like, "Oh, the squeeze is coming! Like, time to buy more." That's probably like exactly what it's for.
Hmm. They have been able to at least hold some semblance of like a better stock in business than AMC. At least we could give them credit for, maybe.
Well, AMC was in trouble. Like AMC was always in ill conceived because they had so much debt. Like, yeah, it was a different situation. GameStop was always in a better situation because they didn't have that debt.
Comment from Kevin in the chat. Good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. Good afternoon, Kevin. Probably having a lot warmer weather these days than George and I. Hopefully you're enjoying
Kevin's
it.
good with the greetings. He wished me a happy new year as well. Kevin was
There we
one
go.
of the only ones. I got an email from Kevin. Thank you. You're very nice. You're very nice, Kevin.
You must enjoy these streams. Happy to have you back. Another stock we haven't followed up on in a bit, but they made some news today, is Joby, the air taxi company. They bought a new factory in Ohio that will allow them to double their manufacturing footprint. And they gave a number of their targeted production for 2027. So they want to be producing at least 4 aircraft a month. Now I saw that number and it seemed pretty low to me. Do you think that's a high enough target or production level to match where their company's at? There's a lot of hype for this company, so I'm wondering, are we still a ways away from when they'll actually be like, kicking it in high gear?
We are definitely a ways away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you never know. Like,
I
like you never know how people are going to react to it. Like, people are still like they're pricing these things very aggressively. They could be priced at um, at attractive valuations.
I want to pull them up and see their market cap right now because I think it was pretty large if I'm remembering correctly. They're actually down 3.5% now, so that news is kind of. It seems like a lot of the companies that had news today and had jumped are like giving back those gains. But yeah, they're trading at about a $14 billion market cap, so pricing in probably some major growth in the future. Sam's in the chat
ASTS
also.
throttled today.
What's getting throttled?
ASTS.
ASTS. Do you want to speak about that at all? I feel like recently there's been just like mega volatility. Obviously, we've like gone higher for the stock, but it seems like there's been plenty of days where it opens down a ton and then goes back up, and then like it just seems like super volatile right now.
I mean, it's just when it gets up like near 90 or 100, it does swing in the other way. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I have like things like LEU um, and Zeta in there right now. I'm just like it's just too volatile for me right now.
Interesting. You're still bullish on it in the long run, though, right?
Oh yeah, of course. It's just a question of
Mm-hmm.
like I'll get back in when like it does these swings. I'll get back in like I'll definitely get it if it goes down to like 70.
Mm-hmm.
But might depending on how the chart looks, maybe closer to like 75 or 80. Does anyone know what's going on with the market right now? It's just getting throttled into close.
Interesting. I did see, I was trying to avoid headlines in terms of the political realm today, but I saw two headlines. I don't know if these have anything to do with it. One was Trump was looking to ban institutional buying of homes, I believe, which sent like
Yeah, that
some
was
home
interesting.
stocks down.
Good on him.
Yeah. What was the other one I saw today? He wanted to pause buybacks for and dividends for like defense
Defense
companies.
stocks. Yeah.
Do you think those could be playing into what we're seeing here or no? I think he was making more comments as we were actually starting the live, so maybe something else has come out.
Yeah. I don't know. We got a nice little green candle here. But yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Well, I wanted to take a detour from the USA today, go overseas. I saw a stat for India and their economy. They're growing gangbusters, expected to grow 7.4% this year. It seems to me that I guess I'm not seeing the level of excitement I would imagine there would be for a country growing that much with that big of a population. I would feel like that would be a gold mine of companies and stocks, and I just don't see excitement for it or coverage for it. Do you agree with me? Like, I'm curious as to why there isn't because I remember back in the day when like China was like going through a super growth phase and a lot of people were interested in Chinese stocks. It seemed like they were getting like a ton of attention. I don't see that with India, and there is a ton of growth, and there's so much talent too. So, uh, yeah, what do you make of that whole situation?
I don't know. I know there's like a lot of like more like hedge fund people, those types that are interested in India. Um, but yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. Like I think that um, I don't know if there's just more of a narrative and more discussion. Like that would be the interesting thing to see, like how the dollars into the Indian market from America um, are versus the US. I mean, I know like the ADRs, like there's like Infosys, there's definitely some ADRs here, just like there's some Chinese ADRs. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But like to me, that could just mean like I think people like talking about the Chinese economy more than India. Why that is, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I do think that like there tends to be like a lot more business that happens between China and the US. And I think that might be a reason for it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Hussein was commenting India stocks, you end up investing in indirectly ETF ADR. Like I can't think of off the top of my head of like a Mag 7 type company. Like, you know how there's Alibaba, Baidu, all these Chinese stocks, even Mercado Libre in like Latin America. Like I can't think of like an Indian like mega cap tech stock. I don't know. Can you or anybody in the chat? I know there's one, I'm forgetting his name now, but there's one like super rich business guy from India. Um, I think is like 100 billionaire. I'm sure he's got a massive company. He must, but I'm not sure if it's a tech company. So, but it seems like a lot of the talent comes to the USA from there. A lot of American CEOs are, I feel like, from India. So maybe I don't know if that plays a role in it at all. Mukesh
I forgot
Ambani,
to say
that's it.
hello from Daytona Beach, also, Sam. I made a big deal about Kevin and then not enough about you, but thank you. Thank you for the greeting as well.
TMPV. I guess this is a big India company. Let me see if I can see it quickly. Tompkins Financial? Oh no.
Oh, Tata,
No, I don't
yeah.
see it.
I feel like Tata has like a lot of stuff, not just the motors.
Do you think the USA will ever experience a 7.4% growth year in economy ever again? Could AI deliver that?
I mean, it'll be tough because like that'll also mean job loss too. I don't think so.
So what's the USA GDP, like 30 trillion or something like that?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I think it's about that. So that would, if it grew, that would be like almost like a 2 trillion growth year. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right, so we will see. Maybe AI can deliver this back to the US. We shall wait and see. MSTR, I talked about them a little bit before. Wanted to bring them up on the stream. They were popping yesterday in the after hours. Them and that actually led Bitcoin to pop too, but both weak today. It was announced that MSTR will not be removed from the MSCI index, and this had been a drag on the stock for a while. People didn't know because of their accounting practices and their Bitcoin balance sheet and all of this type of stuff, if they'd be removed. But it came out that they're going to be allowed to stay in the index. How impactful do you think this news is? Like, was that pop we saw pop and drop yesterday the ending of the story, or do you think this will actually be able to give the stock some new momentum, propel them to? I mean, they have been terrible recently. So, what's your thoughts on MSTR now?
What are my thoughts on MSTR? Um, I don't. I just looked. There are 100 net option sentiment. That's interesting, but yeah, I like these literal like smaller ones, like something like Hut. Like I think you could get more bang for your buck. Like it does have, um, it does have 41 upside, which is very low for it. So that makes me very nervous about like the way they see it. People are looking at it on like a longer term. Um, yeah, I'm very nervous about it. Even with that 100 net option sentiment, 41 upside is very low for it. And
Does
I think,
MSTR have the same problem as some like chip stocks we were covering back in the day when it was like Nvidia was such a lock. It was against the competition. They weren't able to meet the bar. Like you have Coinbase and you have all these like Hut and Cipher and all these ones that have been interesting. So MSTR is just never going to rise above those, at least with the signals we're seeing now, to be interesting enough.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think part of it is that um, people are not as sure of the outlook. I think there's some like smaller coins or like miners that are just more interesting. They're not like they're less risky. Like there's a lot more downside protection against something like Hut. Like that's why like I like to get into these, or like Cipher mining or something like that, where you're not just like it helps if Bitcoin goes up in price, but it's not as dependent on it.
So I will ask again because we've been chatting a while now. So there's probably some new folks in here. If anybody is interested in the chess world, you're probably going to like our next story. You can share in the chat what's your elo. I'm sure we have some good chess players in here by now. We've had over 500 people, so I think we've got some good chess players. But I saw this story about Hikaru Nakamura. So if you don't know him, he is the second best chess player in the world, grandmaster from the USA. He is partnered with Tip Ranks, so he has like a public portfolio, and he's talked about on like his streams before and stuff how he's interested in investing, and I think does it pretty often. So, but I saw the stocks that he has just added, and one of them was AST Space Mobile, the stock of the year, along with LEU from Prospero. And the other one was SNDK, which is a pretty, I feel like you got to be in the know to know about SNDK, and they've been ranking highly in the Prospero signals, AI infrastructure type play. They actually went crazy yesterday. They were up like 25% yesterday. I wonder if it was on the Hikaru purchase news, but probably not. But so
Yeah, I
those
guess
two
we just
stocks,
added SMDK, but it looks good.
yeah,
Looks
those two
strong.
stocks he bought. I'm wondering with the stock of the year, ASTS Prospero, and SNDK looking great in the signals, could Hikaru Nakamura be a secret Prospero user? I don't know.
I mean, it's quite possible he's aware of us. The word is getting out a lot more about Prospero, or maybe he's seen one of my many television appearances. But no, I imagine he's got his own process. But it never hurts for anyone to see confluence. We want to see confluence. We certainly anytime a chess grandmaster is liking the same stocks as you, it doesn't it can't hurt. It can't hurt for the confluence, for the long-term view of certainly their strategy, which we really like as well. But yeah, I'm definitely hearing more and more about people hearing about Prospero for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I actually am curious. I think this is an interesting aspect of the story beyond just Hikaru, but like obviously Grandmaster, super super intelligent person. What is your thoughts on like intelligence and correlation to stock market success? Is it like a, a given that like the higher IQ you are, the more smart you are, the better you'll do in the stock market? Or are there other things tied into it, like management of emotions and like all these other things that aren't so just like IQ based?
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that some of like IQ is going to help you. It's a very tough game theory problem, the stock market, right? And people with higher IQs tend to be better at game theory problems. But there's the other components to it that we talk about all the time, which is that you need to also just do the work, right? If you're spending 10 minutes, no matter how smart you are, if you're spending 10 minutes looking at stocks and like reaching a conclusion, there's probably some things that you're going to be missing. And then there's also like the process, which I think you touched on, and the emotions, and we talked on all the time, right? If you're not doing something to organize the frameworks you're operating with and figure out how to profit more or minimize mistakes, or figure out what it is that works for you and finding opportunities, that's going to be a limitation. But all things equal, I would say, in terms of organizing around a process, putting time in, I think yes, if you have a higher IQ, you will probably have an easier time.
Now, this question led me to another question. I have never heard in my entire time in the stock market of like a retail investor or anybody like working together as a team or with even just one other person for a portfolio. I'm wondering because I feel like a lot of people's problems arise with the emotional side of it and like selling low, buying high, these types of things. Do you think a strategy of like not just like chatting with other people and getting their opinions, but actually like requiring people to like multiple people to agree on a decision or like working as a team, would that be like super beneficial for people or not?
Um, no, I don't think so. Like, I think it's what is helpful is like if you have people helping you do research that you trust, but like the decision making, it really needs to be a one person thing.
I guess everybody has
Someone's
different
got to own
goals,
it.
timelines, like all
Yeah.
this type of stuff. It'd be impossible to like coordinate with, especially retail
Well, it's not even
people.
just that. It's like if you start getting into like, oh, I was right last time, or like this, and then it's like like it's the social dynamics are actually maybe the more of like who gets to choose and why and what process, like especially two people.
Sounds like a good reality TV show. People would go off on each other.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't even know if they could do that.
Sam in the chat asking about Venezuelan oil stimulus checks. Is this something that's being floated around? I haven't seen this, if this is the case.
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure how good of an international story that is. If Americans are getting Venezuelan oil stimulus checks and Venezuelan people are not, not exactly the best headline. But maybe we'll use the money to buy Greenland.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna avoid it on the stream. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Um, I have one more topic for us to go today. Thank you all for being here. If you've liked the stream so far, hit that like button. Follow us, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. We have 5 stocks at 5-year lows. Oh yes, by the way, before we get into this, everybody, if you have any last questions you got, feel free to comment them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer. I see Nick has one for us, which I'll get into after this. But 5 stocks at 5-year lows. I have a list for you. It's hard to find companies at 5-year lows with how well the market has done over the past 5 years. But here's a list of 5. So we have Mondelez, Kimberly-Clark, Charter Communications, Comcast, and J.M. Smucker. So 5 companies that are at 5-year lows. Is there anything across the five of them you can point to as to like why all of them have been able to underperform, and maybe something that we can as investors like look to see a stock that will underperform? And also if there's any of these stocks that are buy the dippable value buys at the moment.
What are okay? These all look horrible. Kimberly Clark actually had a surprisingly high.
I think Charter, ticker CHTR, was the only one that
Yeah,
kind
that
of
looks
looks
good in
a
our
little
signal
decent.
sometimes. Yeah, Charter looks pretty good. Charter would be the buy here. I mean, it's not particularly exciting, but yeah, I mean, and Kimberly Clark at a 70 in option sentiment is kind of interesting, but everything else looks horrible. Smuckers looks as gross as ever.
The thing about Charter, it looks good, but its net options time series graph is like super volatile. So, what does that make? How do you feel when you see like that on the time series where it's swinging from like the 30s, 40s to 90s back down, like throughout the whole thing? Like, can you gate? Do you like put less importance on the current level if it's like swinging like that?
Definitely. Um, 30. Which one was 30s and 40s to the 90s?
Charter.
Yeah, I mean, what that tends to mean is that they're more thinly traded options. So there's like bigger pricing disparities on a day-to-day basis. That's like one of the things. But yeah, like I certainly like I tend to not go near anything long or short if there's that kind of volatility.
Mm-hmm. JC said Steven dove pretty deep into the dumpster for those. Yeah, I had to dig deep. There were some stocks that have been the recent ones, the Lululemons of the world and others, but they've risen recently. So the stocks left at 5-year lows are a pretty small list here. Nick commented, I think the bigger potential international story I heard was China looking at Taiwan. We were discussing this a little bit Monday, but yeah, it looks like it's maybe the probabilities went up after the last week, right?
I wonder what that looks like on Polymarket.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hmm. Yeah. I don't
I
know what the
wonder if you
timeline
could see
would be
that as
by.
like a will China invade Taiwan by end of 2026? That's interesting.
It has to be below like 10%, right?
14%.
Hmm.
It's up 2% in the last week.
I would like to see one for like 2030. I feel like
Oh,
it'd be like
who
50%.
bets on this? China and Japan military clash before 2027.
Baron Trump.
13% chance. Wait, geopolitics. These are kind of interesting. It's kind of frightening.
We're becoming Black Mirror. You could bet on anything.
Nicolas Maduro released from custody by December 24th. 24%. I kind of want to buy the no there. But you never know if they just like are going to release. Like, I feel like that's a really good bet. I was like, who's betting on this stuff? I was like, I kind of like that. Wow, I've never even like done this, but it's like fact check Maduro capture staged.
Interesting.
This is crazy. I'm like very interested in this. Largest company by end of January. All
NVIDIA.
right, I could do this all day, and
Yeah.
I probably will now. I've never actually looked at it myself.
Yeah. Time to do the switch over. Catch you on the other side. Model portfolio.
Oh
Everybody's.
shit, 348, Steven. How could you do this to me?
Yeah, we got to go quick. Here we go. We're going to try to do a rapid model portfolio update. Everybody, hopefully you had a good time. Learned a lot throughout the stream today with the topics, covered a lot of ground, different areas of the market. What we're going to do now is the model portfolio update live. So we'll do some live ads and drops. You get to see what George is switching. We even did some today throughout the stream. What did we do? We did C Limited. We replaced Booking with C Limited, and we replaced Bitfarms with Hut. So that's what you get from watching the Prospero streams live. Let's take a look at the market, see what action is happening right now. The QQQ is barely hanging on to green right now. It is still the only index in the green, up just 0.07% here today. The Russell and the SPY are both down about exactly 0.33%, and Dow down 1% here. Interesting to look at. The VIX is kind of rising sharply here, up 4% today. So something to watch, maybe a little bit of worrisome or cautionary trading going on.
You got to leave me more time than this, Steven. This is going to be stressful.
We'll take a look at SPY and QQQ in Prospero, see if there's any update in net options. SPY still at 0. No real surprise there. QQQ at 31.
Okay.
Some interesting names popping up in the short-term bull list in the app. Intel's there. Moderna's there. Haven't seen them there in a while. Nike's there.
Yeah, that is interesting. Okay, let's see here. We are. I'm going to share my screen. Damn, AVAV lost all that gain today. Okay. Okay. Boy, I gotta close some of these. It's getting out of hand. Wait, we were short app? That's crazy.
Large caps are looking better today, but we do not see much here to act on, as they have been lagging earlier in the week. Healthcare is the standout bull and industrials. Utilities the bear. QQQ NOS is down to 22 now. after being as high as 38 in the beginning of the stream.
What's going on? These nuclear names are looking good. I wonder what's going on there. All right. Okay, we're going to do that. Then we're going to do this. Oh no. I forgot to do this with 2020.
0 and 22.
not my best titling or anything, but all right, we are done. I actually have to get going to a meeting, so
All right.
I bid you all farewell.
Bye, George. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. We'll be back normal streams next week, Monday 11 a.m., Wednesday 3 p.m. See you all there. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.